Dear students, in this session we will discuss about polymerization techniques. Polymerization techniques are nothing but the methods or process by which the polymers are made. So far we have studied about the mechanism and kinetics of polymerization. So this will help you to understand how fast a polymerization reaction proceeds or how to control the molecular weight of a polymer. But this topic, polymerization techniques, will help you to choose which type of method we have to follow. Depending on the nature of the monomer, depending on the solubility of the monomer in the solvent and the initiator. So there are this polymerization techniques can be broadly classified into homogeneous polymerization and heterogeneous polymerization reaction. So homogeneous polymerization technique is the one in which the monomer, the initiator, the chain transfer agent are all available in one phase, or the initiator, chain transfer agent are all soluble in the monomer and which can be made into a one single phase. So that is called homogeneous polymerization. Heterogeneous polymerization is the one in which the monomer, the chain transfer agent or initiator is made in a different phase. The reactant, the monomer and the polymer obtained both are in a different phases. So homogeneous polymerization can be classified into two types. One is called bulk polymerization. Number two is called solution polymerization. One is called bulk polymerization and number two is called solution polymerization. So each method has its own advantage. So depending on the nature of the monomer, we have to choose whether we have to go by bulk polymerization or solution polymerization. So both has got its own advantage and limitations. So how to carry out bulk polymerization? This type, assume this is a reaction vessel in which the monomer is available in a liquid phase. The monomer is available in the liquid phase. The monomer is dissolved. The initiator is dissolved. Is dissolved in the monomer. Okay, and the chain transferring agent is also dissolved in the monomer. So all three, the monomer, initiator and the chain transfer agent forms a one single phase. So once it is dissolved, you may not be able to distinguish the initiator, chain transfer agent and the monomer. So the purpose of initiator and the chain transfer agent. Initiator helps to initiate the reaction through free radical mechanism or through ionic mechanism. chain transfer agent are the one which controls the molecular weight of the polymer or which controls the chain length of the polymer. So all the three are taken in proportion and mixed to get a substance. So you have all the three here: monomer, initiator, and a chain transfer agent. So once it is dissolved, made into one single phase, then let us initiate the reaction either by radiation or by heating. So either by heating or by radiation you can initiate the reaction. So the reaction proceeds. So as the reaction proceeds, the solution becomes viscous and viscous, and heat transfer will be generated. So at one stage, the heat transfer needs to be controlled. Otherwise, it will lead to breakage of the reaction vessel, explosion of the reaction vessel. So you might have now seen through the advantages and limitations. The advantage of bulk polymerization is that everything is brought under one phase, under one single part. The limitation of this method is that the heat diffusion, when the reaction proceeds, the solution becomes thicker, viscous and viscous. So when it becomes viscous, the diffusibility of the chain, polymerization chain, gets restricted, thereby termination of the chain becomes difficult. So once the termination of the chain is restricted, then the propagation reaction proceeds at its highest rate with the dissipation of large amount of heat. The large amount of heat becomes a hindrance for the process. Otherwise, if it is not controlled, if the dissipation of the heat is not controlled in the bulk polymerization, it may lead to breakage of the reaction vessel. The second advantage is that in bulk polymerization is the very pure form of forming a glassy polymer. Compressed molds can be made using bulk polymerization technique. So the vinyl monomers are concerned, dissipation of heat becomes very difficult, more amount of viscosity become very thick, solution become very thick in the case of vinyl polymer. And this has been used for free radical polymerization mechanism and both ionic polymerization mechanism. The generally used monomers are methacrylates, okay, and the acrylic esters or styrene can be used through this technique. Now let us see the solution polymerization. This is the second case in which in the reaction vessel, assume this is a reaction vessel in which we take monomer which is dissolved in a suitable solvent. Monomer is dissolved in a suitable solvent. So we have a solution form of monomer which is very light and liquid. Okay. So along with this solvent, initiator or chain transferring agent is added. So either you can separately dissolve the initiator and chain transfer agent and mix with the monomer solvent solution. So in this case, after once this mixture is made, the reaction is either initiated by heat or you can irradiate the polymer monomer. So the reaction proceeds. Okay. So the advantages of solvent polymerization is that, or solution polymerization is that, the heat dissipation is diffused. The system is not viscous as it proceeds because of the presence of solvent. So you can dilute, you can add more amount of solvent, dilute the reaction mixture and make it to less viscous, so that heat dissipation in this system is very easily facilitated. So there is no danger of breakage of the reaction vessel as far as this method is concerned. Then what is the limitation of this method? The limitation of the method is solvent itself. Because however much you try to remove the solvent from the polymer after the polymerization process, it is very difficult to remove the solvent from the polymer matrix to 100%, because the polymer solvents will get into the interstices of a polymer matrix, and which is very difficult to remove. So in such a cases, the lifetime, the material quality of the polymer is under question mark, or is poor when compared to, a lower when compared to the previous bulk polymerization technique. So these two techniques of bulk polymerization and solution polymerization comes under homogeneous polymerization technique. Now let us move into heterogeneous polymerization. So in this type, a solid monomer or a gaseous phase or a vapor phase monomer is used. Hence we call this as a heterogeneous polymerization. So in this case, we also use a catalyst which is very much helpful to proceed the reaction by coordination polymerization. The normal catalyst used in coordination polymerization is the Ziegler-Natta catalyst. So an example of solid polymerization is a trioxane. This upon polymerization, you will get formaldehyde. So trioxane to give polyformaldehyde. So trioxane is a solid monomer. This can be exposed to radiation or heat. But the most preferable method of initiating the reaction is irradiating the sample. So irradiating the sample through all the directions of the monomer can initiate the sample. And initiating the reaction through heat by applying temperature becomes difficult, because the penetration of heat through the inner parts of the solid monomer is difficult, and that leads to the diffusion of the chain into the solid monomer. So chain mobility during the polymerization reaction is an issue, and hence this process of polymerization is a very slow. But you will get a pure polymer sample, because this does not involve any solvent or any other chain transferring agent, something like that. Okay. Now, gaseous phase polymerization. What is that? A gaseous phase polymerization. The polymerization in which the reactant molecules or in the either in the vapor phase or in a gaseous phase. When exposed to radiation, we get a solid or liquid phase polymer. So in this case, high pressure or high temperature reaction bed can be used through coordination polymerization reaction in the presence of a Ziegler-Natta catalyst. Polyethylene is generally prepared under high pressure using this gas phase polymerization, where vapors of ethylene vapors are allowed to fall on the reactor beds containing catalyst at high temperature and pressure. The material is polymerized to give you a polyethylene material. Similarly, you can also prepare polypropylene polymers. So the gas pressure should be maintained about 4 to 5 atmospheric pressure. And the column should be filled with the catalyst and the fluidized, which is in a fluidized bed form. Okay. Now let us move into another type of heterogeneous polymerization called emulsion polymerization. So the emulsion phase polymerization involves the presence of an emulsion. Okay, so this can be otherwise called as latex polymerization, which are generally used in the preparation of polymeric paints as a emulsion. So this emulsion can be directly applied on the wall. This polymerization can be used to prepare PL-shaped or oyster-shaped polymers in cases. So the necessary condition for this emulsion type polymerization is the emulsion is formed by an aqueous phase and a non-aqueous monomeric phase. It is used generally for water insoluble monomers. So the two immiscible phases, monomer and the water aqueous media, is made miscible with the help of a substance called surfactant. Surfactants are nothing but soapy substances, sodium salt of fatty acid or potassium salt of fatty acids, or stearate substances. You have Tween 20 also available as a very good surfactant or as a emulsifier. Tween 20, Tween 40 is also available. So this, what the role of surfactant is to reduce the surface tension between the aqueous phase and the organic monomer phase. So when it is mixed with a surfactant, when the monomer and aqueous water phase, insoluble phase is mixed with a surfactant, then the surfactant leads to formation of a micelle. Okay. After a certain concentration of a surfactant, the micelles are formed, so which consist of aggregates of or clusters of the monomer and the surfactant, which consist of a hydrophilic and a hydrophobic part. So the hydrophilic part is the surfactant and the hydrophobic part is the monomer. The surfactant is the hydrophilic. Philic means the water loving part, and this is a hydrophobic part is the water hating part. So when the concentration of surfactant in the monomer and aqueous phase medium increases, it results in the formation of a micelle. So like this. Aggregates will be formed, and this looks on this type. So the monomer part the surfactant part or hydrophilic part is present outward, okay, and the monomer part which is present is oriented towards inward. So monomer gets solubilized in the hydrophobic part. So the monomer gets into the a soluble phase. So now if you add an initiator, some amount of initiator, the initiator which is soluble in the organic, in the aqueous phase, proceeds through the surfactant and attaches, and it reacts with the organic phase which is available at the center. Okay, so and hence polymerization reaction gets initiated. So this results in the formation of a polymer inside this micelle center. So as a result, what will happen? You will get a pear-shaped or oyster-shaped polymer. Okay. So when the polymerization reaction proceeds, this the latex, the micelle bursts out. Okay, and it results in a formation of a latex, a milky white solution. Okay, as that is why it is called a latex type polymerization. Okay, so you will get a regularly shaped, uniformly shaped polymer. Okay, polystyrene, oyster shaped polystyrenes can be manufactured with the help of a emulsion polymerization. Okay, so I hope you have understood the two types of polymerization. One is homogeneous polymerization, another is heterogeneous polymerization. In homogeneous polymerization, the monomer and the solvent medium, or the monomer initiator and chain transfer agent, is made into one single phase. In the homogeneous polymerization is classified into bulk polymerization and solution polymerization. In the bulk polymerization, there is no solvent added. The monomer is dissolved in the initiator and the chain transfer agent. By applying the heat, the reaction is initiated. You will get the polymer. The very disadvantage of the method is increased viscosity and a heat transfer. In solution polymerization, the monomer is dissolved in a suitable solvent, and the initiator or chain transfer agent is also dissolved in the solvent and made into a aqueous form, made into a liquid form which is less viscous. So once the reaction is initiated, then the heat diffusion is very easy and facilitated. The limitation of the method is removal of solvent in the polymer material, so which leads to reduction of the lifetime of a polymeric material. So the second type is solid or heterogeneous polymerization, in which we have seen two types. One is solid or gas phase polymerization. In solid polymerization, the monomer is taken in the solid form, okay, and exposed to heat or radiation, and the reaction is initiated, where you will get a very good quality polymeric material, but the process is very slow because the diffusion of the polymeric chain inside the solid monomer is a very difficult process. The second one is called gas phase polymerization, in which the reactant is taken in a vapor phase or a gaseous phase. The vapor phase or gaseous phase monomer is exposed to reactor buds, consists of a catalyst maintained at high temperature and pressure. So by the way, you can produce polyethylene, high density polyethylenes. Okay. The advantage of this method is you will get a fine powdered or polymeric materials from vapor phase to a solid phase, from vapor phase monomer to a solid phase polymer. So next method we have seen is the micelle or a emulsion polymerization. In emulsion polymerization, the monomer is insoluble in the medium or solvent. So the monomer is in an organic phase, the solvent is present in aqueous phase, both are insoluble. So they can be made miscible by the addition of a surfactant. The surfactant after certain concentration leads to the formation of a micelle with the hydrophilic and hydrophobic part. The hydrophilic part is the surfactant part and the monomer part is the hydrophobic part. They get oriented as a micelle. So the monomer gets solubilized, it dissolved inside the inner part, in the center part of hydrophobic, and the hydrophilic part is projected outward. So when an initiator dissolved in a water is dropped or mixed, then the reaction proceeds from outward to inward, from hydrophilic part to the hydrophobic part. So the reaction initiated produces a pear-shaped or oil shaped polymer. So this upon increasing the concentration of a polymer form, there will be the pearls or oils will come out of explosion with the dispersion of a latex. The latex is a milky white liquid. Okay, and hence we can also call this polymerization as a latex polymerization. Okay, so this method is very much useful for preparing emulsion paints. Okay, so I hope you have thoroughly understood the different types of polymerization techniques. In the next class, I will come out with some more techniques of polymerization. With that, I conclude this class. If you have any questions, you can put it in the comment box. Thank you very much.